Well, hi, everybody. This is Rob Decker with the Rug Lounge tonight. I'm really, really glad to be here. And I'm glad to have our special guest, Brian Jesperson. Give him a holler, Brian.
How you doing, everybody?
Good to be here. I'm telling you, this is going to be. I have a couple of neat little things here. Well, this is Nate had put this into the Rug Lounge, and he says he's correcting three furniture stains on a Scott Group tufted, and so I've got the next. These these are definitely and varnish. Man, is that some hard stuff to get out or what, Brian? I know you
Oh,
deal with it.
oh, 100%. You got to wash it first. And then what I would end up doing is I'd probably use 3% hydrogen peroxide and just see how that kind of works to begin with and maybe accelerate it with a black light. Uh, I mean, you never know how much actually might wash out to begin with, but there could be quite a bit that actually stays. So
Yep.
3% hydrogen peroxide works out really good.
And I've heard of people also saying that with wood varnish, sometimes going in with a solvent is a good idea to try to get some of that out, like during or before, right before the wash when you're spotting. That also can be, but yeah, hydrogen peroxide for sure, because that's what this stuff is made from is, wood bark and all that kind of stuff. So let's see. Let's play Nate's little game here. And let's see if we can find these. And with his expertise, I'm going to bet you can't. All right, let's go over this picture. Okay, so it's right by a formation of some sort of wider formation. So
You did a good job.
he really did. I think maybe just on the right hand side of this cross formation
Yeah.
right there at the very right hand side of that little colored formation. I think maybe that might be, but boy, I'll tell you. And I tell my repair, the my daughter-in-law's doing rug repairs with me now, and I tell her all the time. She'll call me in and she'll say, "Hey, how does this look?" And I remind her that we're looking at it from maybe a foot away, right? But when they're standing on the rug, they are 5 to 6 feet away from the surface. So we have to remember that we might be, we might be really inspecting it up close, but we also need to put that back down in relation to where our customer is going to see it, because it's just very important to see it through the customer's eyes, right, Brian?
Yes. Yes. Most
It
definitely.
just it means everything, and that's where a good rug cleaner becomes a good groomer, is when they start thinking about how is this going to look when I present this to my customer, and if I don't happen to roll it out at my customer's house, how are they going to see it when they roll that out? And that will make you a good groomer as well. But yeah, as always, Nate's done a fantastic job of getting. And if you notice I'll bet you he didn't get it. He's always talking about controlling moisture. So I'll bet you he didn't get it really, really wet doing this either. Now, of course, if you've got a rug in plant like this, I've got a rug right now sitting in my smaller dry room that we are just doing urine stain removal on, and we're using 3%. It's a wool woven, a loosely woven, like almost a hand loom type, and we are just hitting it with 3%, letting it dry, 3%, letting it dry, and that patience is bringing those out. And we just every morning when we go to the shop, we put some peroxide on it, we go about our day, and before we leave, we go back in and put peroxide back on it. So it's just constantly eating that away, and we're also watching for haloing and stuff like that. But it's working great. You know what I mean? And it's just low and slow. You don't need to you don't always have to accelerate it. Now on a synthetic fiber, you're a lot safer accelerating it with UV. And then there's heat that can accelerate it, and
Yeah.
that is the real uncontrollable one. That
Yeah.
once you apply heat, you have no it's going to do what it's going to do at the temperature, and if you keep increasing and all that, yeah, it can go really bad really fast.
real fast.
um but heat's a great tool. I talk about kissing the fiber with heat,
Yeah.
right? So you just barely like 2 seconds, and then pull that heat off of there and check it, and see what's going on. Don't heat's a great tool, but boy, do you want to use it sparingly, few and far between, and start low and increase as you have to.
The best thing to do is find some scrap pieces, even something off Facebook Marketplace, and then do testing on those pieces instead of the client's pieces. Because
Yeah.
I've done some, you add some heat to it. My goodness, there's nothing worse than watching wool just dissolve in front of your face.
Ah,
I mean, it's tough. I mean, I did every sort of test that you could imagine and try to push the envelope so I understood how far I could go with certain
mhm.
things. And man, it's and then also to take. I remember I took this sheep hide I got like next to nothing, like $5 at a garage sale, right? I took that thing and I went ahead and put some furniture stains on that, and then went back and used hydrogen peroxide, and I used various things. I even used red one, like on a, that was a huge mistake.
Oh yeah.
To actually watch that dissolve. Uh, you can kind of get away with it sometimes if you cut it with distilled water at 50%. But definitely you need to do your own testing and understand how far you can push things. Uh, because you're right, heat and even the black lights, making sure you're not going to halo something out. If it's
Right.
if it's pretty dry, then you need to try to break a little bit of that surface tension, and then apply
Mhm.
the hydrogen peroxide, and then put the black light on there, and put a timer on it,
Yeah.
because sometimes it doesn't matter. You might have 5 minutes of time on that black light, and pull back. It's perfect. You go 20 minutes, you forgot something, somebody started talking to you. Next thing you come back and you're like, oh my gosh, I just bleached this out.
Yep.
So
It goes up fast.
there's a lot of real fine tuning, but I think that if you're kind of just getting into it, where you're not really for sure on it, you don't know how far you can push yourself. Um, just go find those pieces that are in garage sales or like at Facebook Marketplace, and just recreate the stains yourself.
Yeah.
It's not hard. You get a furniture leg, set a thing on there, put some water on the furniture leg, allow it to go there, let it dry, do all kinds of different tests, and before too long, you'll get pretty good at it.
Absolutely. There is, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And so, and there's different types of furniture stains. There's cherry stain, and all kinds of, and so, it's all about testing to make sure you know what to expect, and just the way it is. And this is what Nate had to say about this particular piece. He said a combination of products tested and applied with mostly lab or hobby Q-tips, mild rust remover, wood alcohol 3% hydrogen peroxide, coffee and tannin stain remover, sunlight, ammonia, towel, and mallet transfer. He says he hit a wall about 90 to 95% stain removal. He applied a tiny amount of pigment and dyes to camouflage the ghost stain and fool the eye. Patience was the main key ingredient. He also charged enough to keep the job very profitable and cleared a lot of time. So all that's, you want to, and you saw how small those spots were in relation to, so testing all this stuff on those little bitty spots is not an easy task, but it has to be done because it's something is going to work. You just have to figure out what that something is, and experience will help you a lot, but testing will help you even more.
Well, it's interesting how he says that he camouflaged it with a little bit of pigment.
Yeah.
He probably used. Uh, you can get some of that dinge away
Yes.
from Pro's Choice, and yes, you can take a Q-tip and you can go ahead and just camouflage it. You don't have to do
Yeah.
every little piece; just kind of camouflage. That way your eye is literally tricked on there.
Yeah.
Um, it's a great little tip, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it really is. Sometimes, you have to do what you have to do, and that goes with rug retailers do that. Think of the 1920s Saruks, the painted Saruks. They couldn't sell them. I got to do something, and so there we go. Where's another post in the Rug Lounge from Nate. He says Paul would have loved this. They're putting in an MLS stadium, Major League Soccer stadium, in across the street, and they're replacing our street's water mains. Check out what was feeding my shop: wooden water pipes constructed like whiskey barrels with staves and rings. The crew says late 1800s, and they've never seen them this particularly that large before. So yeah, that is really neat. That, and I've heard that on the East Coast that they have still yet wooden pieces of uh wooden waterways and stuff, water pipes.
You know what's interesting is that you can go to the store here in town, a big plumbing store. It's called Tap, and
Mhm.
they were actually last summer removing some of the water lines from downtown Wichita, and they actually have one of those. They were pulling those wood uh, those wood pipes out also. I'll have to take
Yeah,
a picture of it and put it in there. It's pretty cool to think that right there stayed in the ground for that long. Is that
yeah.
amazing?
And it was constantly wet. That's the secret to
Yeah,
wood, is if it's constantly wet or constantly dry, it stays very, very strong. If it gets wet and dry and wet and
yep,
dry, that's when you got problems.
yep.
But yeah, that's just simply amazing.
It is to think about the water traveling to your shop and how it is getting there. I mean, you
Yeah.
just have no idea until
Nope.
I pull something out and you're like, "Wow, wait, are you kidding me?"
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Hey, they did what they needed to do back then. You know what I mean? I see it 100%. Okay, so this one I put in now at this time of year at my shop. Now I just picked up a couple of wool rugs. We had one dropped off at the shop today, but we're starting to slow down a little bit, and so we have a stock of rugs that people have either donated, given to me, said no, if it's going to cost that much money, just keep it. All that kind of stuff. People drop off rugs and then I can't get a hold of them. They won't answer their email, they won't answer their text, they won't answer their phone. So we have a sale usually about once a year, and we go around prepping the rugs, and that's what this is a nice little runner. And it's attractive, it's not contaminated, but it had a lot of sprouts from where the cat would get on there and do the little thing that they do on. So we just go through after we've cleaned it and everything's right. We just go through with the pair of duckbill napping shears, and we just simply trim off those spots. And this is going to be one of the rugs we have for sale here real soon. I'm sure you do that too, don't you?
Well, yes. So we detail every single rug after it gets washed. After we made sure that we did the quality insurance inspection, everything checks out good. There's no marks or anything else. The detailing stage is the next, where we detail everything. Uh, we actually have different tools. Of course, we have the shears. We
Mhm.
have the it's a we went to like Atwoods a long time ago, and they have some really nice sheep shears inside of
Mhm.
there. And those are great, especially if you want to do some work on the sides or you have something kind of that's beveled, kind of like on here. Uh, but if you have more of a flat surface, and you'll see this a lot on rugs, um, rugs from India, especially, they'll have the little sprouts that'll kind of come up. But we have an NC shear, and the NC power shear is it's awesome because you can take a 9 by 12 and you can literally just hook the vacuum to it, turn it on, and just start going across. And it's like you're planing the whole entire rug, right? And it
Right.
is so fast and so effortless. It's incredible. You can do a 9x12 easy in 5 minutes. Now,
Wow.
if you have a guy that has the shears and he's going across, he might be on there for 2 hours, and I'm not kidding.
Wow.
It's a long, delicate process. With the NC shear, it is fast. It doesn't really look like it's taking that much off, and you can adjust it to the sides. But,
Sure.
but I'm telling you, uh, you'll see what comes into the bag. We just hooked the hose right over to the little vacuum, like a little HEPA vac we bought. I think I bought it from a Ramsco
Yeah.
ago, and man, it works absolutely incredible. I love it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing like taking a rug that you washed and you're bringing it back to somebody and you're laying out for the presentation. I mean, it looks like it's brand new.
That's
Literally looks
right.
like it's brand new. And then also you have sometimes where you have some rugs that might have just a little bit of maybe a little UV sunlight damage done to it.
Yep.
We've seen we've seen runners like you have right here, where the steps, it was on the steps and they've taken it off, and now you have little areas where it's all, not correct. Wash it and then turn around and then shear it down, and you just have to shear just a little bit to it, and next thing you know, you got a beautiful rug all over again.
Yeah, I've done the grin. When you grin open a
Yep.
rug and you can see that about maybe a 16th of an inch or so is like a pale color, and the underneath is just vibrant. And those are such good candidates for doing the what shearing.
Oh yeah.
The full shearing of the whole rug. Brian, I know you remember we talked about this on Paul's memorial the other night. Um, the time that we did the blowtorch on that rug that you
Yes.
brought in that was in the category 3 flood.
Yep. Yep. I mean, you can torch those rugs, which that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it
It really
was.
was. To go through there and to realize that whole wool rug, the whole top layer is just all crispy and black.
And then
But
you just put it in the wash
oh
and
my gosh, but underneath there is a soft, incredible, beautiful rug.
it really was. Yeah, that thing changed like I've never seen anything. It was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty awesome.
And it was just a cool way for Paul to teach a lesson and to show that, the actually most rugs that people have in their houses have been kissed by a blowtorch and they'd never know it,
Yeah.
during the right after the production, usually is when they do
Yes.
that. So yeah, yeah, it's amazing. So let's see. Oh, this is the last one that we have, and then this is something that we'll kind of use as the main topic. This little Chinese rug where the fringe just did not look good. Detailing today with Chemax fringe cleaner and dwell time happening in the sun to aid the reduction. So I do the normal 10-minute time, and I've got my tamping brush there, and I'm just putting this all over those fringe of the Chemax fringe cleaner, and you just spray it on, beat it, and let it sit in the sun for 10 minutes. And then I pull those fringe over and I hose them off with and get all the product out of them until they run clear. And then I take suction and I suck them dry real good. And then I put 2 fans underneath the table and I start blowing it. And it's like going like this. And it blow dries that fringe and just, I mean, makes it look so good. So if you ever have fringe problems, that's one of the ways that I deal with it is just doing fringe detail after the wash.
Yeah. I mean, I find a lot of times for myself, I mean, you can do that outside, um, but like we have a rubber mallet that's just for the actual wash bed. It's a rubber coated rubber mallet, and we'll go across. We'll clean it. We'll use the Chemex fringe cleaner on the actual fringe itself. Then we'll go back and we'll tamp. Take a towel, lay it on top of there, and we'll tamp it out on the ones that are real bad. Uh, Sometimes it's not even that bad, so we'll just use a brush. So we'll put the Chemex fringe cleaner on the actual fringe, tamp it with the brush, and then do a real light power wash to it. or just even just kind of hose it off. Now, if it's something that's post cleaning and you need to do, which that's kind of like what this looks like right here,
Yeah.
uh, you know, no problem with that. I like actually using. We have some of those dry ease, um, dry master upholstery tools, and I actually kind of let the actual fringe suck into there because it's a jetless. So you have this jet that's just kind of sucking all this water and it's rinsing that fringe super well. You can actually see it go inside and you're pulling it back and cleaning it, pulling it back and cleaning it. Does a great job. Great job.
Yeah, I let the fringe come into my tool as well into my because I have one that is it doesn't have a jet. And so it's all about getting that and I also um the Kaleem strip, a lot of times you can get that dry with airflow coming through your tool when the fringe are inside the tool. So yeah, that's and you know, really what this post really was about is what a great tool that the sun can be. And I think it is
Oh
so
yeah.
underutilized. I don't think people use it enough.
Yeah. Yeah. The sun is powerful. I mean, you can put some of that on there and give it 15, 20, 30 minutes and you can get some amazing results
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
having damage. You know, a lot of times people get a little crazy with the hydrogen peroxide and it's just start damaging the fringe and making sure it's like super white. But there's
Yeah.
also, I mean, there's this clump right out of there, right?
Yep, and you got to remember that fringe. I mean, you know, now this fringe here, of course, is applied fringe. So it may have actually, you know, they may have done something to make it really, really white before, who knows? But real fringe, real cotton coming out of a real wool rug it is not bright white like a piece of paper. It is an ivory color by naturally. And so to try to put something on there to make it that bright white, you're just being destructive and it's unnecessary. And you know, if a customer asks you to do that, you should lead them away from that by telling them that if when it's that color, that means there's been a lot of damage to it. In fact, I did the tug test on the fringes today on a Persian rug that I picked up and it passed. I didn't I know and I said, "Has this ever been to a cleaner?" She said, "Not that I know of." And I said, "Well, what I see here supports that because I usually I mean, I told her probably the sixth rug in my career that didn't have fringe damage. It was today. Because I
Mm.
mean, you see it. I know you see it all the time.
Oh, all the time. Are you kidding? It's
And
constantly there.
yeah. And one of the things that I do is I have an ORP meter, oxidation reduction potential. So what I can do is I put a little moisture on the fringe and I hit it with this meter. Now 500 is middle, is balance. Okay. So if we get down into the 300s, the 200s, that means it's had reduction and it's still in a reduction state. And if you get an 800 or a 900, that means it's oxidated. It's had oxidation going on, and it's still in an oxygenated state, or a oxidation state rather. So um, I can bring that back toward the balance point with a little bit of fringe cleaner that has reducer in it, or a little bit of hydrogen peroxide if it's been reduced too much. And fringes that are balanced are fringes that look good.
So where'd you buy that meter at?
I got it through Exotech. I went online and
Mm.
it's the same it looks the same as a pH meter from Exotech, but it's an ORP meter and they use it. I can't remember what they use that for out of what we do. But what it helps you do is know what's been done to those fringe. So you can, and it gives you a number, a scientific instrument that says these fringes have been oxidized and we need to bring those back into balance, you know. So that's and so again, the sun can help accelerate is typically what it does, reduction and oxidation both.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it does. It's a powerful instrument and it's free. It's just
Yeah.
it's just right outside, right? I mean,
Oh,
and it's readily available as long as you don't live somewhere where it's raining all the time. But if
right, right, right. But Oregon or something,
yeah,
Washington,
yeah, I mean,
uh,
if you do, I mean, the black light to me is always your friend, but I always like to use the sun as well.
well, and don't, I have several different black lights. I have one that Cobb's, the Cobb's light from back in the day.
Yeah,
This was back when you had to talk to Larry.
yeah,
And before he'd send you a black light, he wanted to know that you knew how to use it and that you weren't going to misuse it because those the damn things can blind you. They can cause skin cancer. So you have to be very careful. And so I've got the old Cobb's light, I've got the Amazon Beast, I got two or three of those, and then I've got the new I hate this PP 5000. Whoever the guy that named that. What I do, I put a sticker over that. So when I bring it into somebody's house, it's just the most juvenile name I've ever heard in my life. And I would never bring an instrument into somebody's house that says PP on it. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I it just it drives me crazy. So, but I have the PP 5000, and that is a very extreme light, and it has 365 bulbs and 395 bulbs. So
Mhm.
it has that mix that really accelerates fast. So, understand your black light and understand, first of all, the wavelength, because you have to be between about 365 to about 395 nanometers in wavelength. That's your stain removal. That's your what you want. And so if you have a black light that's one or the outside of that range, that's for just something different. They have lights that are for sanitizing, that is UVC, and I can't remember. I think that is 400 and above, but man, I could be wrong about that. Um, but
Well,
you've got to,
the 365 to 95 or 395 range, those are good black lights. Uh,
yeah.
I'm not for sure how long they actually last. I mean, I guess it just depends on how much you're using it. I know in aircraft they actually use some super high end UV bulbs, and they have some way of testing those. And they after they lose some of their potency, they'll turn around and they'll sell some of those bulbs. Um, so I mean, sometimes if you need to find something that's maybe in that range, but
Right.
really, I mean, a lot of them that you can buy some pretty decent ones off of Amazon anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can. I mean, um,
I tell my customers that so that, like when I perform a urine decontamination on a rug or on a piece of furniture or on a piece of wall to wall, I urge them, I send them the link to the beast, and I tell them, get a black light, and you want to know whether your dog or your cat is starting to do this again. And if it is, instead of just letting it go until it takes a professional. You can deal with the spots as they happen, as long as you know that they're happening. So what you need for urine removal or for urine detection is two instruments. You need a UV light flashlight, and then you need a penetrating moisture meter. So not everything that glows under the black light is urine. And actually, the way I say that even to customers, I say not all that glitters is gold. Okay, so you can have emesis or vomit that shows under a black light, but it doesn't carry salt with it. Fecal matter will show under a black light, but it doesn't have a lot of salt in it. Blood will show under a black light, but it doesn't have a lot of salt in it. But urine is one of the three body fluids that will make a moisture meter ring, and that is urine and sweat and tears. Okay, so when you get to thinking about what would be on a piece of furniture, on a wall to wall, on a rug, you start understanding that if there's salt there, that's urine. If it shows under the black light and then you poke down in there and those leads are detecting moisture, or well, you can, but instead of a moisture meter, you can do a clear camera as well, because they'll show evaporative cooling, and that's what happens in those areas. So whatever way, but you need to be able to distinguish one thing that glows under a black light from another, and that's a moisture meter or clear camera is what I've always used.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot available. Uh, you just have to really make sure you get the 365 through the 395 range.
Right, for what we're doing. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you'll be in good
Absolutely.
shape.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, that is all the slides. Yep, that is all the slides I have for tonight. So let's kick off early. We've the shows went on, and so we'll do that, and we'll keep coming around every week, unless we have like a holiday or so, some kind of a thing that goes on. We skip every once in a while, but we're going to come back and keep teaching and keep helping you guys. And we want to see your posts, and we want to talk about them because it's important, and we have some really cool things coming up that are going to blow your mind. That we're going to provide some really good advice on things and stuff. So that's coming up later on. But I'm going to say bye to everybody. Have a good week and a profitable tomorrow. We'll see you next week. Brian, take us out.
Most definitely. Hey, I'm glad everybody tuned in, and hopefully we can help you out. Just post whatever you need inside the rug lounge. I'm going to start posting a lot more stuff as well.
Yeah.
That way we can all learn.
That's right. That's right. And invite some friends actually too is a good thing. If your rug buddies, text them and say, "Hey, there's a rug lounge," and that's where basically what I think it's going to come down to is that's going to help sell Chemex products, because that's what we're going to talk about, because that's what we've used all of our lives. All of my rug cleaning life, I've used Chemex products. So, that's what I'm going to promote, and my friend made him, and his family is going to hopefully be able to carry this on, and I want to help him do that. That's going to be you and me both. So
Well, most definitely. I mean, Paul wanted us to be on here,
yeah,
and Paul showed us how to use his chemistry. And
yeah,
one way to keep his voice and his knowledge alive is through us.
yeah.
I mean, you and me were blessed. There's a lot of people that were very blessed by Paul.
We had a lot of years with him, man.
And when I kind of sat back and kind of realized, it's like, am I just gonna let all this everything that's up inside here just vanish away, or should I kind of help some other people out as well?
Yeah,
I mean, I just got lucky. I really got lucky to know a guy for 20 years that taught me how to take care of people, and also how to take care of my own family.
yeah.
And then
Everything. I mean, everything I have, I owe to him. There's no doubt about it.
yeah,
Every bit of rug knowledge I have, it's because he encouraged me, and yeah, it was just,
so if we can keep Kimax going, if we can help everybody else out, if you have a question, post something in there, and we're going to try to help you out.
you bet, just like
So,
it's always been done.
yep. So until next time, we'll
See you
see
next
you.
week. Let's see. There we go. Record button in.